And it's a totally different instrument, although it plays in the same range as the contraforte, contrabassoon, but it has a much wider dynamic range. We play very soft, very loud, with the same quality of sound, with a much more beautiful sound. And it's, in my opinion, going to replace the contraforte at some point, because every conductor who has come to my orchestra to conduct when I'm playing this has made a point to tell me how much they like the sound of this instrument. What happened is that the contrabassoon that we play on, even the modern instruments, is still based on a design of the instrument from 1879. And acoustically, it has some deficiencies. It doesn't play quite soft enough, it doesn't play quite loud enough. When it plays very loud, the sound gets sometimes rather hard and harsh. And it doesn't have the warmth and the smoothness that one wants. So in beginning 2001, this manufacturer in Germany, in Bavaria, named Gunther Wolf, decided, as in his words, he says, rather than putting a Band-Aid on the problem, we decided to cure the disease. And they started from the beginning. There's no way they could use the old contrabassoon. They had to start from the beginning. And they worked with Professor Grundmann at the University of Dresden, who is an acoustic specialist. And this is the design they came up with. I remember when I first got it, the trumpet players in my orchestra said it looked like a rocket launcher. It's actually a work of art when you look at it. It's three-dimensional. It's really quite amazing. But it's all designed from a scientific approach. The contraforte uses a larger reed than the contrabassoon or contrafagotti. One can use a contrafagotti reed on this with an adapter that uses a smaller reed, but I prefer the sound with the bigger reed. The problem is that very few people are building machines so you can make these larger reeds. And it's a problem. For instance, these reeds I haven't made because my machines aren't finished yet. When they are finished, I can make my own. If you look carefully here, you can see that the parts are put together with what we call C-clamps, like they use in the automobile industry. There are rubber gaskets in there, and they tighten to keep the instrument, first of all, strong, and also the rubber gaskets seal all the time, so the instrument doesn't leak. And if they decide to change a part, let's say they have a new development, and they want to change this part, they can just build a new part and put it on, and it will fit. So it's what we call modular in design, sort of the way they build automobiles now. This instrument, since it's built acoustically correctly, needs to have what we call flageolet vents for the very high notes on the actual pipe here. No other type of bassoon, contrabassoon, fagotti, contrafagotti has this. And in order to activate these, first of all, you need to be able to remove this when you put the instrument away. So they came up with this idea that in order to activate these, for instance, this one here, you have a button here that activates, pushes down here, and it's a bicycle brake cable that goes up here and activates that. And then in the right thumb, you have this that operates this one. So these are called flageolets, and they are for the two toppest octaves. And it's a clever design because when you put the instrument away, you just unhook these like this, and you put them inside, up here in these little holders. It's very clever. And then you can take the pipe out and put the instrument away. The instrument's one piece, unfortunately. And then when you're ready to play, you put the pipe back in, and you take these things out and push them in. And here, same thing. And push this one in, like that. And you have to adjust these sometimes to make sure they're not too tight, but not too loose. And there are adjustments here that you can do. And then you have the instrument you can play. The lowest note on the instrument is A0, which is the lowest note on the piano keyboard. That's very low. Most contrafagotti go down to this note, which is a B flat. This goes to low A. Then you have next octave. And then there's another, let's see, the highest note in the instrument that I can find, and it's actually written in the concerto, is the high C. That's very, very high. The color of the sound up high is almost like a saxophone. You know, a very melodic sound. People say it sounds sort of like between a cello and a saxophone. Or it's a different sound than a contrafagot, but it's a very beautiful sound. And in the middle range, of course, it's got. That's from the Aho concerto. In the low range, I can play this from the beginning of the concerto. So it could have a very beautiful sound. But you can also play quite loudly. But the sound never gets really ugly. On the contrafagotti, contrabassoon, when you really push it hard, it starts to rattle, and you don't get a lot of pitch. You just get some noise. This, you really hear the pitch, no matter how loud or soft you play it. And that was the idea behind the design of this instrument.